there isn't a person who doesn't have a story to tell.
I remember the bachata.
Son of Burkina Faso.
Mali's golden land, where culture will run deep. My family's legacy, a heritage to keep.
Do they see between the dotted I's and the crossed T's how hard you have worked to be the best that you can be? How hard you have worked to just be?
Storytelling is a really great way to reflect on our lived experiences and to tap into the things that make us unique. And it really helps to bridge the gaps of understanding or misunderstanding between people and across culture.
My dad, he left my country when he was like, 16? For 63 years of his life, he's always like constantly on the go. And here people say, oh, you're crazy, you work so hard. But that's all I know. I come from a long line of West African griots. Griots are oral historians and storytellers. We are, in essence, the keepers and transmitters of our people's history. As you climb in your personal and professional life, make sure your feet stay on the ground. Because I always remember who I am and where I came from. And I don't want you guys to ever forget about that either.
There's so much that's under the surface that we wouldn't know unless we ask, or unless we have a protocol that's gonna kind of create the opportunity or the structure to unearth those stories.
Try to come up with at least 10 words on your map. 5 of the words should be words you use to describe yourself, and 5 should be words that other people use to describe you.
So we've been using the Crew Stories Toolkit to build social-emotional academic development, both with staff and students. There are a lot of different protocols from all different cultures that we had a chance to choose from. There are so many different ways that the protocols can look. And so whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, the structure of the protocols allows for people to engage in both a way that makes them feel safe to be vulnerable, but also creates an opportunity for them to share themselves however kind of fits their style.
We did a lesson with the Crew committee regarding how their identity as educators shape who they are and how that has fostered the way they guide their students.
This journey, which has been with staff, with our crew guide, Mr. Al-Hassan, and now with students, we've used the Poetic Justice Protocol, which is an opportunity for students to explore and staff to explore their own identities through poetry and through art. First, we watched a video and we learned about another school and kind of their own journey through their own identity exploration.
This Identity Matters video from Harvard Collegiate. They're actually a really good school around restorative practices and community building.
We really had a chance to both learn more about what that school's experience is and their own journey, and then get to kind of apply that to our own exploration of our identities.
What nourishes you as an educator?
Sharing in the moment with them and them being interested in who we are and them bringing their cultures with them, learning back and forth. That's the real gold.
And then we had a chance to write our own poems that were reflective of our identities.
Consider the following prompts. How does your identity shape who you are as an educator in supporting your students' overall success? What do you know about your students that doesn't show up on metrics like grades and test scores? What are ways you can support students beyond their academic goals?
When we engaged in the protocols and people started working and started sharing their poetry with each other, it was vibrant. I mean, the room was buzzing.
You need self-care, even if everyone tells you how strong you are.
By sharing our own stories, we're able to create this fuller picture of what it means to live in this world, what it means to be human, and also to share our joys and connect with each other and really see how we're so similar at our cores, even though we can be so different.
How would your identity continue to shape how you do this job, and what is something small you can commit to moving forward?
Listening more deeply to students, to colleagues, and also to myself.
What was so beautiful about it is to see the people that I work with every day reflect on their practice, but more importantly, reflect on their journey in a manner that we would usually not discuss. And as a result, we were able to have a better understanding of each other's motivations, each other's approach. It allowed for a much better community connection because we are able to understand why we all do what we do.
Thank you all so much for spending this afternoon with us. It is always a